Welcome back to Daybreak Live. It's 31 minutes now past the hour, 29 before the top of the hour on this Tuesday morning. We're joined by Sylacauga City Council President Ashton Fowler. Ashton, good morning.
Good morning.
Good to have you with us today. And the beat goes on. The first thing out of the gate this morning, where are we on this old swimming pool?
Yeah, so that's a hot topic, of course, and I saw some action over there, matter of fact, with some employees over there looking and assessing the building. So good thing that a lot of people would like to hear, I'm sure, is we've now taken the master plan that I'm sure everybody's seen and the picture that everybody's seen from the Chambliss and King Architectural Group, and now we have created a new committee that also has hired local architects with aquatic specialties, expertise, if you will. And so now the plan is to work on a programming, rendering, very detailed, specific down to the color of the walls and furniture of what's going into that new aquatic center. And at the same time, as soon as 2 weeks from now, we're going to have a full-fledged assessment of the old municipal pool, the current municipal pool, and see exactly how bad it is, what exactly needs to be done to get it running, or if we need to dig it up and redo it, whatever the case may be. We will know that from this assessment.
Are we going to do something there, however?
Yes, that's the plan. So with the new center, we'll build the aquatic center, indoor pool, all that fancy stuff, with a spot for an outdoor pool. But we won't build the outdoor pool yet, because as we're building the new stuff, we'll be reassessing and fixing or building the old pool. So that timestamp on how it could be fixed is a lot shorter than building the brand new. So you're looking at 2026 to have the brand new aquatic center finished, and we could finish and have a swimming pool. You know, I've eaten my crow and said this before, but we could have a finished swimming pool with the current location sometime within the next swim season. If we work on them consecutively at the same time, and that's this committee and architects' plans.
And Ashton, that's going to appease a lot of people just to know that you're making an effort to get us a swimming pool, even for short term.
Sure, absolutely. We had different architects and Williams Blackstock involved, and they're doing a great job in kind of giving us what they do, because these guys built UAB's Student Center. Tuscaloosa in Alabama and Auburn. I mean, they are very, very good in aquatics and recreation, so they know what they're doing. And they're going to assess it with some people in a couple of weeks and get the right avenue of what to do there at that current location. And guys, I understand, you know, you need a pool. We need stuff to do, the kids all the way to the adults, and this is the best way to get it done correctly. And then once it's fixed and it finally kicks the bucket again, we'll have a spot ready to go at the new facility where we can just tie in to the current plumbing and everything that's there that we're going to be building.
Honestly, and I'm old school, I just have a hard time wrapping my head around how this new aquatic center can look.
Yes, so it's just a brown box on this master plan. That's the picture that everybody's seen, and we're taking that master plan, taking some stuff out, moving some things around. We know the layout of the land, and if y'all not familiar, the current location that's under that picture is the Highway 280 property, city-owned, right there across from Albia Steer State Farm, and in that corner of 21, and up the mountain there. And so what we'd like to do is take that new aquatic center and move it to the west side of the property, all the way down, closest to the old Avondale property, where you kind of oversee the school building, the school buses. And that's less retaining wall, less dirt movement we'd have to do, and it would be there, and then get a straight shot to downtown, and you could see it overlooking 21 as you come up.
When I go to a restaurant, I'm going to look at the menu, and I'm going to look at what selections that they have. What is on the menu for this aquatic center? What's going to be there?
Right, so we're looking at a grand pool. You know, I'm not going to get the terminology correct, but it's we're going to try to have a zero entry with some swimming lanes for swim meets, enough for official swim meets, and along with the aquatic center, there will be rooms around it to have your birthday parties, reunions, whatever. Admin offices, not a full-fledged, there will be gym equipment there, I'll say that. It's a place to work out, and basketball courts, things of that nature. And in the original plan, we had pickleball courts and basketball courts all around the outside. Well, instead of just putting all that into the one place, we can take that same amount of money that we would take out from the bonds and spread the wealth throughout the city. So we could potentially fix up the Beth Yates tennis court facility and have the pickleball and extra tennis courts.
Well, that's a hot thing right now, pickleball.
Lord, it is, and I think it's getting more and more, all over the nation. And we want to take that advantage of that right now and spread the wealth, have basketball courts at other parks that are underutilized or don't have enough equipment, and use all that money to make the parks that we currently have more prosperous.
There were some items in the initial rendering. I think I saw it. Did I see a football field?
You did.
I did.
You
Okay.
did. That would be taken out, especially it being on the tip top of that mountain where it's at now. So it was more or less a filler to fill in the space that we have right there, and it made the picture look good. But there's no need in that right there and right now. So that money, say we spend on that, we could go put a basketball court right there at the empty lot by Jay Craig. Put a basketball court at South Highland Park. Light it up, LEDs, everything like that. Secure our current parks fencing and stuff like that. So that's the type of stuff we're going to give and take out of the new plan and spread the wealth to the current parks.
So possibly this could be done in 26?
Yeah, so that's the initial timeline, and if the council stops the process at some point and pulls one of those dominoes, of course, everything from there on out pushes back. But right now, if everything goes to plan, we're looking at a 2026 date of finishing that new aquatic center.
Wow. Ashton Fowler, I guess, is morning president of Sylacauga City Council, and it all sounds well and good. We've heard some of this stuff before.
Oh, yeah.
And it doesn't take much for a rumor to get started. And he said that, or she said that, and that kind of thing. But there's a way to address rumors. There's a way to address it without making people mad and stuff like that. Talk about that a little bit.
Right. Rumors are going to happen. Any small town you go to, and then you add politics on top of that, I mean, it's bound to happen. And there is and I've been personally affected by this times 10, and very recent, and it's tough to handle, but you have to keep your professionalism about it and, try and reach out and straighten the situation out once you hear it. But the fact of the matter is, if you hear something, and especially if you know the party that the rumor's about, simply reach out to them. And if it's dealing with one of us on the council or somebody close to us, everybody has our numbers, emails, phone. cityofsylacauga.net has all of our personal contact information. And you can reach out and talk to us, text, whatever. We can answer those questions. I promise you, if I've messed up or somebody's mad at a decision I made, I will either validate and stand behind my decision or say, you're right, I'm sorry, let's fix this. I just don't want to hear about it 3 weeks later and the story's changed and, 10 times. I'm like, where is this coming from? So Facebook is a great tool to keep in contact with old high school friends or something, but it can be evil at sometimes to spread these lies, and negativity spreads so much easier and faster than positivity. So that spreads like wildfire, and by the time somebody like me that doesn't use it much sees this story, it's everywhere. So it can simply be addressed from the get-go from any of the council members, or personally, if you know me, call me and we'll hash it out. I mean, I'll take the words you got to say to me. I've done it before, and we'll fix the problem.
This is not in my notes, but I'm going to throw this out here. You're talking about rumors are out there, and some specific rumors that I heard a lot of. Can you delve into that anymore, or we just leave it where it is, or what?
No, I mean, I think people know what I'm talking about,
Okay.
that are effective or have been involved in this. So I think I just wanted to state that, and state that, when you hear something, especially that somebody in a political position that's supposed to serve the people, they got elected by the people,
Right.
is doing,
Right.
Allegedly, then you need to reach out and talk to them about it, because that's what we're here for. We're here to serve you guys. And, if I did something you don't agree with and you say, hey, why did you vote like that? We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Or why did you say this? And I'll say, I didn't.
All right. The budget, new budget, is upon us now, right?
It has not officially, but we have had our meeting a couple of Saturdays ago. We decided to knock it out on one long Saturday, and that was a great idea. Saved us, about 8 to 10 meetings of an hour or two at a time during the week. So we did that, and I just want to stop here and give kudos and credit to our new city clerk treasurer, Alex Lambert. She has done a tremendous job since she stepped in. Long hours. You'll see her car there at 4 a.m. or midnight. You never know.
Wow.
And she put this budget together, her in the mayor's office, and I've had so many compliments on how, and you can review it on YouTube and everywhere else, but it is one of the most well put together and flowed so good budgets. And what we thought would be there for 8 or 9 hours, we were there 4.5, and got it done one day. We had 3 changes. That was it in the entire city's budget that we had to fix. So
what are some nuggets in that budget that you're pleased with?
The main thing I'm pleased with is the cohesiveness and the willingness to work together between departments and department heads. Because as you know, we found mistakes from previous budgets, and we had to shrink the amount that we were budgeted because we were running off of 100% budget, 100% of the revenue, when you actually only need to run off of 90%, keep that 10 for reserve. So everybody scaled back. And
You ever see when those things happen, you say, ouch.
yeah, absolutely. And we were looking at a couple of million to cut in the beginning, and we got it done. Yeah. And it wasn't just the council saying we're going to cut this, this, and this. The department heads stepped up and said, look, we'll do without this, this, and this. And they all worked together, and it was the most cooperative budget I've ever been a part of in my 7 budgets. And, another nugget would be that this is kind of a 6-month budget because, as you're probably about to ask, we have a tax increase that's been implemented, and we have not yet received revenue. It implemented August 1st, and then we will start receiving monies September, a month later. But we don't want to project what we don't have in an uncertainty of a tax increase. So what we're doing is waiting that 6 months to get a general trend of budget of revenue. So in 6 months, in April, we can come back and revisit the budget and hopefully level out everybody where we were initially at before the cuts, and then look at, okay, this is how much we have left over. Let's see if we can get this person whatever new thing they requested or increase this pay here. So in 6 months, we're going to revisit and have a whole nother budget.
In my household budget, I have to make cuts sometimes. Things come up that unexpected and you didn't plan for. Where are we as far as Sylacauga is concerned about our monies? Are we in pretty good shape?
We are. The revenue has gone up, and we were to my shock, we were one of the few municipalities when COVID struck that our revenue went up. For some odd reason, it went up. And
well, something good came out of COVID, then, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. And all these new businesses that haven't, their revenues have not been calculated until this year. With Publix, you got Lloyd's, the Wharf is coming, several different retail establishments that you see construction going on around town. These things haven't been calculated, so I'm anxious to see, with the 1.5% tax increase on top of that, of how much we can get in and then give back to the community.
How's that been received by the citizens?
It's been a lot better than I thought, because we let them know where the money's going. We've earmarked, a lot of it, and I think we conservatively estimated the first $4 million that we've earmarked to fire, police, street, everybody that helps the city in turn. So that also gives those departments planning capabilities ahead of time. So I think it's been well received. Some people were not happy with it, but then again, they weren't happy with the lack of services they were getting provided with or not provided with either. So we had to make a decision.
Ashton Fowler, President of Sylacauga City Council, for a couple more minutes this morning. And, none of us like tax increases, obviously, but we're positioning ourselves for the long run, right?
That's correct. And the reason some say, why'd you do 1.5, not 1, 2, or 3? And, we strictly did that because this 1.5 ends us up at 9.5 overall with the county, state, and everything combined. We're still lower than the surrounding areas. All the surrounding areas are at 10. And this provides us the benefit of these the big contractors or the big catering events or something like that, they want to come into town to buy their building supplies to save that. If they're doing a $30,000 project, they want to come here to a lower tax bracket and get their supplies and money. So we kept it at that 9.5, not 10, for that reason. And we needed to provide more services. Everybody always talks about more stuff to do, nicer roads, drainage issues. Well, this is how we fix it.
Recently, I was made aware that, and I preface this by saying we have a lot of special events that take place in Sylacauga. Some of those maybe 4 to 5 to 7 to 10 day events brings a lot of people in town, and they're looking for restaurants, they're looking for places to stay, motels and hotels. I understand that somewhere down the line we're going to get a new motel here in town.
Right. So we currently have a MOU in place with a provider, a developer that plans to develop a hotel in town, a new hotel, and he and his partners have done this all over several times, so they're not new to this. They're from out of town. They approached us, so that's good. They see the town and the city and what's going on, and they wanted to be a part of it. So they approached us and are looking to, and actually purchasing the land currently to start this whole process and the development of a hotel.
Our citizens, including myself, we're never pleased. We always want something else.
Sure.
We're glad to get Publix. We're glad to get Lloyd's. But I'll ask you this question: what goes in? And a lot of people say the same thing. What about a movie theater? What goes into bringing a movie theater to a town like Sylacauga?
Well, before my time, Jimmy Dale, and this is again from word of mouth and people that may or may not have been in the room. We had that opportunity several years ago to get something like Pell City had, and it fell through. For what reasons, I do not know. I was probably in middle school or high school, so I don't know.
That's your fault, again.
I mean, I know about it, I guess. So, we've looked at that and tried, but I guess it's the fact of, hey, you didn't want us then, we're not coming back now. And yes, there's plenty of other providers of these services. But
it's all about investors, isn't it?
Yeah, it's you've got to have your investors. So a lot of people are saying we want this, that, or the other. Well, you got to invest in it. If you want it that badly, sure, we have a wonderful CDA, and Brian Taunton heads that up as the executive director, and gets out there and goes and recruits people and businesses all up and down from 280 to downtown. And we can only do so much. If there's some specific niche market that you want, and a lot of people do. Our downtown's full of boutiques and things of that nature that people from here develop. Please, by all means, approach us, and we'll help you work on some kind of incentive or help you with a building purchase, and reach out to the CDA. That's what they're there for. And they do a good job of helping people out like that.
All right, Ashton Fowler, our guest this morning, President of Sylacauga City Council. Some good news: the Aquatic Center looking possibly at 2026. Also, the old pool may be up and running sometime during the swim season next year, and it would be good to see kids on bicycles and all that kind of stuff headed to the swimming pool.
Absolutely, would love it.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Ashton Fowler, our guest this morning. Ashton, always a pleasure, and I'll leave the final word with you this morning. I've kind of been bouncing around from place to place, but is there anything you want to close with this morning that maybe I haven't brought up?
I think we covered it all, Jimmy, but I just want to appreciate everybody for, the ones that do reach out. I want your complaints, things that you think I should do better, or ask me why. That's the biggest thing. Ask me why. I'm always available. That's what I strive to be. One thing in my life is available to anybody that needs to get in touch or wondering about the decision I made publicly. I will be willing to share my thoughts and receive yours as well. I'm not going to just shut it off in my way or the highway. So don't be scared of that. Don't think that I'm just set in my ways. I'll always be willing to change if there's a better route to do something. So please reach out and we can talk.
All right, we got more Daybreak just ahead. Don't go away. Randy's Corner coming up at 7 o'clock.